And we're back with some breaking news right here at the Lakers Fast Break. I'm waiting for Joe to come in right now, Craig. But great to have you here. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching. Just had to go ahead and come in to go ahead and report on Austin Reaves defying many of you out there. Oh, I would only pay 15 million. Oh, I'll only pay 25 million. Oh, I would only pay 35 million. Oh, he's not getting the max. He's not getting the max. Well, guess what happened on the way to the summer of the Lakers? Well, Austin got the max. And here today to go ahead and discuss, among other hopefully great people. I don't know what's happening with Joe, but he said he is on his way. But it is, of course, good man indeed. It is, of course, a returning Laker Nick. He wanted to discuss this today. Austin Reaves, my friend, 4 years, $185 million max contract, defying a lot of people's thoughts. Fourth year is a player option, reportedly, as well. Austin Reaves is a Laker, whether many people like it or not.
Hey, Gerald, it's great to be here. Thanks for hosting. Yes, I can't say I'm completely shocked. I don't think I am, but I am certainly disappointed at this decision here. I think it sets us back possibly several years. I know that us, the guys in the WhatsApp channel for the Lakers fast break we were discussing, and it severely handicaps the Lakers moving forward as far as um, creating and building a lasting franchise with serious prospects at the championship. And so, very, very disappointed. Again, I can't say I'm surprised. I'm not entirely sure of the calculus behind this. I'm not sure if there were competing offers for Austin Reeves. Quite frankly, I haven't done much research into what was reported as far as his contract, but this was very, very disappointing for me. From what I see online and from the Lakers Fast Break, the folks involved in this great channel, it seems like I'm not alone in that sentiment.
No, you're not, my friend. I do want to go ahead and apologize to everyone out there. Nick, I guess, using the mobile phones, having some feedback issues as well. But I do share your um, sentiment in regards to Austin Reeves signing. Again, I understand out there to everyone the cap hold of $21 million or thereabouts in regards to it, and that everything above that for this year for him is not going to be counted against the salary cap. Yeah, that's all well and good, but you're signing a guy possibly if he picks up the final year in his contract for 4 years that defensively it's a problem in the playoffs. I've told people again and again and again, and I'll bear witness to this. The game 4 of the Oklahoma City series, JJ Redick changed his plans, Nick, from what worked on SGA for 3 games. Now, did it help the Lakers win? Ultimately, no. But he focused in on allowing SGA to go ahead and focus in and target in and put on island repeatedly Austin Reeves and Luke Kennard. And he went on his way to rip both of them for, I think, 35, I think, in that game. So, again, that's just a small microcosm of what we're going to see in the playoffs because while it will look good in February with Austin and Luka combining for 50 or 60 points, whatnot, it'll look good then. My friend Nick, I will tell you, it will not look so good in the playoffs.
And Gerald, apologies for my audio. I should have better audio here in probably the next 20, 30 minutes or so. Hopefully sooner than that. So I apologize for that. Sorry for the feedback if you're hearing that. But yeah, I'm also surprised Luca would advocate for this. I assume he did. Obviously, this sets him back in terms of getting a championship soon. And so, yeah, just very disappointing indeed. I see Joel has joined, and so what's up, Joe?
Nick says hi, Joe. I can't hear you, Joe. You're not on. Your mic's not on.
I said hi.
Okay. Okay. There you go, Nick.
Yeah. So, Gerald, yeah, what was your immediate reaction, Gerald? I guess when you saw I don't know if you want to call it a Woj bomb, but something of this sort come through your feed.
Not surprised because I saw it coming. I said it on Lakers latest for days that people just argued on the side. I said, if I am his representative, I've been saying for weeks and months, if I'm his representative, I'm getting him the max. I'm asking for the max. I am telling people, I am telling Mark Walter, I want the max. And if there's other teams interested in his services, such as the reported Detroit, uh, Brooklyn, and Chicago in his services, there are going to be teams that will pay the max because that's is the 4 years 185 is what another team could pay for Austin Reaves or thereabouts. And in doing so, they had to set themselves up to do it. But they have to decide if Austin and Luca is that winning backcourt. And I knew they were already committed to it. Luca has responded favorably to his broship with Austin Reaves, Nick. And again, this is something, if I was his representatives, this is what I would be asking for. But they have to ask themselves now, Nick, how good are they as far as a playoff run? And I don't, the answer is they can only get so far. I mean, Brunson isn't a good defender, but he had good defenders around him to go ahead and supplement what he does so he could go ahead and focus in on what he needed to do to win that title. And right now we're seeing, of course, the fact with the Lakers, they just don't have those options, Nick.
They don't. And so, Gerald, I guess one related question. Obviously, you follow this more closely than me. And granted, I haven't ran any numbers here, but what does this mean for LeBron, just in terms of what the Lakers can offer him? I actually haven't really followed the reporting with respect to that issue.
I can tell you right now, it doesn't affect that at all to re-sign their own free agents. And the fact is, the Lakers will still have plenty of cap space. They put a cap hold of $21.6 million, I believe it is. So anything above that, the $41 million he'll make this upcoming season, 20 of which, almost 20 of which, is not affected by the cap. So they'll still have plenty of cap space to go out and sign other players and free agents and whatnot. But uh, when it's signing your own free agents, LeBron James, it should not affect that. And with LeBron James rumored to be going back to Los Angeles and negotiating on a new contract, there's a great possibility that could happen, Nick.
Yeah, so we're effectively looking at a second round exit team at best. That's really what it
Mhm.
comes down to, right? Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, you reap what you sow. And right now the Lakers are going ahead and just putting it right there. That's what they wanted. That's what they're accepting, and that's what they got, Nick, right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I want right now, Gerald. I want a Joe rant. Can we please get a Joe rant or no?
You got it. I think one's coming on, and I'm going to set it up for right
Okay.
now. But again, Laker Nick, if you could get on with a better,
I will. I will.
I appreciate it, my friend. And once again, it's Laker Nick. Truly appreciate him getting on here. And hopefully he'll be able to come on here with a better sound. So I do apologize for that. But also here today is a good man indeed. He is behind the Joe Soro experiment. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here. This was something, as I said, we could see coming. This was something as far as a dollar amount we could see coming. Um, and also as well, when he got the news, it was official as far as the agreement in place. He just happened to be on the golf course, and as I sent you a photo of on your Twitter account. So, your thoughts on Austin Reaves agreeing to a max 4 year with the fourth year player option extension and what that means for the Los Angeles Lakers going forward? Here we go.
The the only thing I would have preferred was, I think the reality was he was going to get the max. We just didn't know what, how long. They didn't have to give him 5 years. That was the first instinct to go to. They gave him a 4-year deal. It's essentially a 4-year deal because I don't see him opting out of the 4th year. I just don't see him opting out the 4th year unless he becomes a star. But I would have liked the team option in the 4th year. Then if you tell me, okay, well, they signed him to a max deal for 3 years, then it's a high AAV, but a shorter deal. That sounds a lot like a Mark Walter deal. And this might be a couple things that are going on here. Number one, showing the agent, showing the league that the Lakers take care of their players, which is what they did. The other is also staying away from going overboard, which they did. And then Rob likely doing a little more than he needs to, which is, again, having the 4th year being a player option. Maybe I'm a cynic. Maybe I'm jaded here. But I think if I had to throw something in there is maybe they're letting Rob figure some things out here to see how good he is. And that contract becomes valuable if they trade it for somebody better. So that's what I'm waiting on. We're going to have to wait a year for that. At least a year. It becomes a valuable contract if they can trade it for better talent. Otherwise, this ends up being a overpay because of timing, bad timing, and the inability to probably sign anyone on the market, a player that will be on the market this summer that would be significantly better. The answer to all those things are the Lakers look like they want to value continuity a little bit more than they do going out and getting brand new players for the sake of just getting brand new players.
Yep.
Saying that Walter doesn't have anything to do with this is very, very, very ignorant. This is his team, guys. And he has shown a track record that he is involved. So how he chooses to be involved is going to be determined by something we really don't know. We speculate that this is going on. I'm pretty confident that the only reason why Rob Pelinka is still in his position is because of Genie Bus. And it was part of maybe the smoothness of the sale and an agreement saying, listen, I'll sell you the team now, but I need you to keep certain people around. And that's what this is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because to me, Rob Pelinka has no value as an NBA GM. He has never really shown any value other than maybe a couple of acquisitions here and there, which, again, in the end, haven't really amounted to anything. And you can sit there and say that the Anthony Davis thing was his. Okay, we'll give him that. But that's like having the first overall pick and getting Wemby. Is that talent? No. It's called you won the lottery, and you're going to go get that player. The guys that make their bones in the executive side of things are guys like Sam Presti, who are able to draft continuously players that are valuable in the later rounds, in the mid rounds. And even when they hit on the top 5 picks, those things matter too, because top 5 picks, if you do look at the percentages, it's 50%. So there's too many variables here still unanswered. Now, I'm going to stick with what I said before. If Austin Reaves is your second highest paid player going into the 26-27 season, and it ends that way, you are not going to win a championship. And that is not going to change. There's no way LeBron is going to get a $50 million contract from the Lakers. And even if that were the case, who gets paid higher doesn't necessarily mean the second best player. So worrying about Luka leaving, that's something that has popped up the last couple of days. And my answer to that is, why is this being talked about? Is this something that popped up on X? I don't know where the hell this came from. Why would would Luka want to leave? Do you honestly think the Lakers aren't trying to build a championship team here for him?
They just got his buddy back. I don't know. I don't know how you could say that. His best friend
His
just came
buddy is in Denver.
back to the team.
His buddy is in Denver. And I want you guys to remember this because it's important to understand this. This matters. This matters in so many ways. Until Nikola Jokic signs that extension, none of this matters. None of this matters. Next year is really the year that the Lakers can make the leap because you have more talent next year. There are more choices by certain players to make a deal. Now, why this will be important in terms of the Austin Reaves signing. Austin's going to be. I don't know how if this is going to get front loaded. I don't know yet. We have nothing can get done really until July 6th. So,
well, you want to know the breakdown on the numbers, Joe?
Yes,
you
please.
Want to know the breakdown in numbers?
Yes.
I believe it's 41 million for the first year, and then it tails up to 51 million in the final year of the contract.
Okay. So where this becomes a great signing is if Nikola Jokic tells Denver he's testing the market, he's going to opt out next year. Well, he's got a chance to have his cake and eat it too, which means he's going to tell Denver, out of respect to Denver, of course, because he does respect the team. Look, I'm going to leave for LA, but I can make this not a complete loss for you guys. Because obviously Jokic would want to have that fifth year. You can't get that fifth year if you leave your team and go to another team. You can if it's a sign and trade. Therefore, now that money that you're paying Austin takes care of a lot of that trade setup. Do you follow me, Gerald? Nick, are you following me?
Yeah.
This contract now becomes very valuable in that process. Buddies, look, LeBron was buddies with Dwayne Wade. Right? They were buddies. Yay, buddy. How you doing, buddy? There is no buddies in this world, guys. They hang out. Yeah, they go and do whatever.
He specifically said on the record, Joe, that he wanted Austin Reaves to remain a Laker.
Okay. Let's grow up a little bit here, a little bit.
Well, I'm quoting what he said live and on camera.
Let's be adults here real quick. What do you want him to say? I don't want test the market. Go get Norman Powell. Is that what you're expecting him to say?
I would ask him to go ahead if you wanted to say, if you've had the best interest of the team, I want the front office to be able to do what's in best interest of the team. That's
okay.
What I would
so let's talk about the best interest of the team. There isn't really a lot of talent this summer that you can go and drop certain amounts of money. So what's your first step? Well, how about we keep the continuity? This guy's homegrown. He knows the system. It's going to be a little easier to go in the next year with someone that knows what's going on, knows who JJ is, knows who Luke is. Okay, that makes sense. They're going to have to overpay him, but that's more of a market issue than a Laker decision. And also, you gotta show face to these agents and these players. The Lakers have become a popular team over the years because they're known for taking care of their players. They paid Kobe $60 million plus the last 2 years as a severance when they didn't have to do that. So we're looking at this in terms of the long game. And that's how I'm looking at this.
No, you're the just long trying game, to say that as a bailout.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Joe. Because again, you were on the record repeatedly saying that Austin did not deserve the max.
No, he doesn't. No one. He does not deserve a max. But you guys got to pay attention to common sense here. This is not about what I feel or you feel. It's about the system that's set up by these idiots who agreed to it. This is all based off of CBA rules. We've already seen.
So if his contract, like I'm going to put it the way Machiavelli, and thank you Machiavelli for saying probably what I'm have been saying as well. If Austin does not perform well in the playoffs again, how are you going to move his contract to another team for good value?
Perform. He's not equipped to do it.
You've already committed to say he won't perform to his contract.
He won't because he's on a golf course, not working on his shooting game. But here's something to think about. This business is set up to pay players. It's not set up for owners to decide what they want to pay players. The collective bargaining agreement says this is what you have to pay your players. That's why every team has to spend 90% to 95%, whatever, of their salary every year towards players. So are you going to pay Austin Reaves 41 million, 46 million, or are you going to go get a couple guys that might be better or will be better or whatever this summer? The answer is, at this point, no. So I'm trying to play the long game here. No, Austin Reaves is not a max player. Much like how LeBron was not a $50 million a year player last year. But we can't control that. So the only thing we can do now, as people who don't really know everything behind the scenes, we're assessing, is that, all right, you want to pay Austin Reaves this kind of money? I hope you have a backup plan next year so that you can get a better player because of that money. Because you can't trade for anybody these days without matching contracts. And the more money you're paying Reaves at this point, the easier it is to probably go get somebody that's making max money whom you want. It's a massive overpay. I wouldn't have paid it in a
But if it's an undervalued contract, Joe, and you try to move him, let's say he has a disappointing first year and you try to move him next year, you're going to have to attach more assets in order to move him.
Which is what this can be a blind signing. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this. That is true. So let's say they paid Austin $25 million for 4 years. Let's just say they said, "Oh, we're not sorry, Austin. We're not going to pay you more than 25. That's what you're worth." Okay, fine. Would have made everybody happy, I think. But now, let's say someone like Jokic is available, who's making $60 million. Now, that's not going to be enough. Not even close. I mean, another 16 million, or what will be whatever, 20 million. That makes a huge difference in not having to send out more assets. And that's it. Or let's say Jaylen Brown, which I don't think they can trade for Jaylen Brown now. But the thing is, what's done is done. It's an overpay based off of timing and the market. So the only way to get out of this is if there's some way here in the next year they're able to move Austin for a better player. And the more money he's making, the easier it is to trade for that better player without relinquishing more players and more assets.
Well, one of the teams that was interested reportedly was the Detroit Pistons, Joe. And they have a certain center on their hands that they have to commit a lot of money to as well. And Jalen Duren, which we have talked about on the show as a possibility. And after his performance in the playoffs, a lot of people in Detroit are questioning whether or not they want to commit the kind of money similar to what Austin Reaves is being paid now. And as Austin Reaves, again, we question here because of his lack of defensive prowess in postseason, primarily, is what we're pointing to. Great concerns as well, giving him this kind of money. Would it made sense for Rob Pelinka to ask or offer a sign and trade for Jalen Duren to see if that it was at least on the table?
Alan's asking a question here. I am banking on Jokic not signing back with Denver until it's done.
He's putting all his chips into it, Alan.
I'm putting it all because that's the guy that changes things instantly. Duren doesn't do that. Powell doesn't do that out of Miami. You can't get Jaylen Brown right now. I don't think that's going to happen anyways. It's a Celtic. The Celtics are going to work with the Lakers. So for me to justify this from a fan perspective is I'm going to say you have to wait to see what happens with that, because that's the only instantaneous deal you can make. Otherwise, you have to build this thing.
Black says this makes zero sense, Joe. If he makes a lot more money, no team is going to want him with a ticket of that size when he's not worth it.
Not wanting him has nothing to do with the trade. If Jokic decides that he wants to leave, they're going to try to. It's better for Denver to collect something out of it. And you have to understand that deal is only a 3-year deal after that. Could be a 2-year deal if he opts out.
Want to say to someone, though, he said Jokic will be 32 going on 33. Yes, but let's compare that to someone that has been talked about quite a bit on my Lakers latest show, Anthony Davis. A story came out that Anthony Davis was rumored to possibly being or Rich Paul or a rumor of a possible trade back to the Lakers as far as is concerned. So it created a lot of talk on my Lakers latest channel that I work with Fan Arc Network on. I'll just say this, someone. I would bank on Jokic at 33 more than AD at 33 because of the fact that AD is just so many injuries and I don't think he'll age quite as well as Jokic. Jokic's game, I think, ages better because he is based lower to the ground, not as much defensively inclined, which is true. And I get that. I understand that. But his game offensively, I think will like for instance, Curry, Joe. Curry's game at 37 has aged better than most players of his age. I think Jokic is the same thing if he decides to continue to play that many years. I think that's a difference when you're talking about Jokic to say AD on the possibility of him coming here. I don't believe that he will until I said I'm not on the train with Joe yet until he outright says I'm not signing an extension with Denver. So
I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson. In 2023, the Dodgers were waiting on what Ohtani was going to do that winter. Mm-hmm. He decided to re-up with the Angels for one more year. They still waited. I know it's a different dynamic in baseball than it is in basketball, but it really isn't. Because you cannot risk. It's a worse risk not preparing for a Jokic type player, especially with Luka's game and the fact that they're tight. Guys, I'm sorry. The Lakers were never going to rebuild anyway this summer to where they can compete for a title in 2026, 2027, unless someone like Giannis begged to go to LA or something like that. But even then, look at what happened to Miami. Miami has nothing. You could argue Miami's team next year is going to be worse than the Milwaukee team this last year. You don't know. The NBA has gotten so bad at this being able to flip things on a whim. It doesn't work. It doesn't look good. That's why preparing for Jokic next year, because you are in a position to get him for nothing. Now, he'll want that 5th year. More than likely. And then if you're sending Austin and some fillers, I'm sorry, that's to me still getting Jokic for free. With all due respect to Austin Reaves, that's a free gig. And then you can use whatever money after that to go build around those guys. There's a reason why there was a lot of frustration with this CBA. And this is the reason why. The frustration is it's too detailed, it's too rigorous. I don't even know what is the purpose of anything anymore with these teams. What they'll buy a draft pick and then they get hard capped. If they're not matching contracts, they can't get the thing done. If they go get a superstar, they got a mortgage this year, next year, the next 50 years. It's like a never-ending. I just can't believe these idiots agreed to this deal. All the more reason to understand why baseball is going to have a lockout and why the players are going to win that lockout. And I hope they do, because it's ridiculous what the NBA has done in this current system. It's created.
And you're going to hear, well, I'm just going to say, and you're going to hear for a while, Joe, that they had to sign him to this big contract because of.
I don't give a shit what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what Luka says. I don't care what Pelinka says. I don't care what Genie says. I don't care what anyone says. What anyone says means nothing. We know the rules. We know who's available. There's all that information is out there, and it's 100%. All the tweaking out of nowhere, you can learn that later. You know, for a moment there, I didn't know what the hell a swap was until it became popular. We never heard that in 2011. I never heard of a swap until 5-6 years ago. So I don't give a shit what Lucas said. I don't care about this. Is all company line bullshit. What I want to hear next year, crossing my fingers,
a subscriber.
maybe before then, I want to hear Jokic opting out. And until he says otherwise, I am preparing as a fan for that moment, because that's the switch. That is the switch. That is what would change the entire NBA's culture. Jokic and Luka. And Jokic playing until he's 38, 30. Jokic barely jumps. He barely moves. That man does not need athleticism to be dominant. So I'm just saying, until Jokic signs that extension in Denver, I'm preparing this team to go after him should he be available next summer, because that's the difference maker, and that guy will be, at least for 3 or 4 years with Luka, a force, and they will win championships.
Once again,
Juan says Jokic is not coming. I guarantee you 18 months ago, if I had said something about Luka coming to LA, you would have said the same thing. Y'all got to stop with the never going to happen. It's fucking stupid when you talk like that, because you fucking don't know. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. Jalen Brunson took a $113 million pay cut. Look where he is now. Don't tell me no. It happens. It's happening. It freaking happened to the Lakers. They got Luka for nothing. They got Luka for AD, who's half man, half not available. And a pumpkin-haired cutted freak in Max Christie. That's it. That's all it took to get a generational player in his prime in the middle of the season. Don't say it ain't gonna happen. It freaking happened. And Jalen Brunson took a $100 million pay cut in New York. You have any idea how high the taxes are in New York? And he still took $100 million off so that he can win a championship. That guy is a god in New York, by the way. He could have won 5 championships in Dallas. Don't mean shit in Dallas. Dallas is a football town, and it'll never be anything else.
Well, right now,
one championship in New York. He will never have to do anything in New York ever again. So that one title. That $100 million is coming back to him in some way for the next 30, 40 years. Stop talking about it's never going to happen. We just got Luka Doncic 18 months ago for nothing. Wait it out. This is the system. This isn't Joe Soros' happy stance. Let's be optimistic and hope. It's the system. It's what it is. Learn it. Understand it. Until that guy is not available, I'm going after Jokic next year. I'm sorry. That's how it works. Same thing happened with the Warriors with Durant. Same thing happened. What, that didn't happen either? Or that wouldn't have happened? It happened. That's why there's free agency. That's why there's opt-outs. The shit exists for a reason, and sometimes it opens up. Sometimes you have a stupid GM. Sometimes somebody demands a trade somewhere. So go ahead and go into whatever stratosphere you want to go to. The shit has happened. Don't say it's never going to happen. It's already happened. Who's to say they can't have it happen again? This is LA Lakers. The Lakers brought in Wilt Chamberlain. They brought in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They got Shaq. They got Pau Gasol. They got LeBron James. They got Anthony Davis. Oh, they're never going to get. What do you like? What did you just wake up last night? Were you born last week? It's an overpay. I would have never paid Austin Reaves $46 million a year, but I don't have that control. And I'm also not working with these people, and I'm not working within this CBA. It's easy for schmucks like us on TV, on radio, on YouTube to sit there. I'll never do this. You don't know shit on what you would do in that situation. You don't. Leverage is a key thing here.
Joe, on that control point, and hopefully, Gerald, my audio is a little bit better now.
It is now. Yes, I've got no audio belches, so that's
okay,
good.
I appreciate it. On the control point, Joe,
to come here. So yeah, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, what continues to surprise me?
After you're done, my friend.
Yes,
you're good.
What continues to surprise me is more with Walter, right, and how he, I guess, effectively relinquished full ownership or control of the Lakers until 2030, I believe. I think that's the date or the end year when Jeannie Buss is going to relinquish the governorship of the Lakers. That's the piece that I still struggle with. Why, that was agreed to. I think I would have less of an issue with what happened today if I understood that the decision being made was being made by, Walter and company and not necessarily Jeannie Buss still involved in the mix, whether that's just optics or not. That does bother me.
I'll tell you this, Nick. It does. I keep saying to Joe that right now he has left it up to Rob Pelinka to run this organization. And while he does have 50 vice presidents now looking over his shoulder, he is still managing the personnel. He's still making the pick with advisement from other people. I get it. I understand it. But he is still the guy making the personnel decisions. And I want to go to something that, before I get it back to you, Joe, because I got something for you as well. I want to go ahead and point out to Stefan Piscano, one of the biggest Rob supporters there. He said, Gerald, I was about to text you, but I saw you the live notification, so now I'm here. Gerald, I'm sad. It might be time to formally disown Rob. And he talked about how if he resigns and brings back LeBron James, then you officially be out. You wanted a hug, Stefan. I'm giving you a hug, man. I'm giving you a hug. It's okay. Welcome to the club. We'll bring you in. It's a cult, whatever you want to say, club. We'll bring you into the Rob Pelinka is an overrated GM cult anytime, my friend. Anytime. We'll give you a hug. We embrace it, my friend. So, Joe, I will bring it to you. Because his girlfriend, Austin Reaves' girlfriend, and once again, breaking news, Austin Reaves signs a 4-year, $185 million max deal with a 4th-year player option. Joe, his girlfriend pictured him on the golf course at the time the agreement was announced and made official, and you saw his reaction. I sent you the photo. I wanted to make sure I did, because the next time I said he would be on the golf course, I wanted to make a mission to send it to you. So with that said, and knowing during the negotiation process, you'll love this as well, Joe. Guess what? During the negotiation process, it has been reported that his favorite country music was playing and that there were AR labeled pillows in the negotiating and meeting area when they sat down to talk shop. Your thoughts? Again, this is from a team that clearly wanted to make its statement by bringing back Austin at any price. Detroit and other suitors were lining up for Austin. Again, if he wasn't going to go ahead and get the kind of love that he got from the Lakers. So presentation videos in the past they've used and other gimmicks and whatnot. But with the Lakers doling out the red carpet, or in this case for him, the golfing green carpet, what are your thoughts, my friend, on how the Lakers clearly wanted to bring Austin back into the fold?
I hate
country
country
music.
music. Country
As
music
do I.
is abhorrent. I could have done without listening to the pillow talk.
I'm just letting you know. I knew you would not like that. AR pillows. I've got a Kobe pillow. Maybe you know what? Drip Show at Drip Show. Did they ask you? Did the Lakers ask you to make AR pillows? I want to. Oh no, man. Oh no. Go ahead, my friend. Sorry.
I don't have any comment about that stuff. And optics definitely didn't look good that he was on a golf course. And I don't really give a shit about significant others or any of that stuff. And that's the stuff that out of place people like me have to deal with. I'm fairly clear on the fact that I probably was born a little too late in the game, although I do love technology for what it is, and I enjoy being able to do what I can do because of technology. So the technology part has been a beneficial thing for me to be able to do what I need to do by myself. Wouldn't have been the case like that 30 years ago. However, these heartfelt private moments that now, and these are the same people that will scream at people for getting into their business. I'm like, motherfuckers, why don't you stop posting shit on your social media if you want privacy? Do you see me posting shit on a golf course, Gerald? You see me prancing and dancing and twerking on videos on social media? No. And then on top of that, again, something happened. People are so judgy. I'm like, well, bitch, stop posting shit then. I don't need to hear this. I don't want to know this. There's a reason why I got the news. And of course, one of the benefits of technology is I didn't need to go anywhere to know. I have my good friends on our chat that posted stuff. I'll get an alert every now and then if I have the notification on. That's it. Instead, now I got to be bombarded with some jackass laying on a fucking golf course when we've already said several times this dumbass needs to be in the gym making shots to earn this money.
Just wanted to put that in there for Black that, yes, it was Risham Sharania that reported in regards
Just
to
if you look
Detroit
at the deal, an opposing team could have offered him 175 million. They gave him 178, right? Or 185.
No, 4 years,
Sorry.
185.
Yeah. So that's all they did. They just basically matched what they gave him a little bit more of what the match would be. That's it. I just wish the fourth year was a team option. I would have campaigned for that.
Well, at that point in time, he'll be 32 years old, Joe. So I don't know at that point in time. Nick, let me bring it back to you. Fourth year is a player option. Now, what the thing is, he'll be paid $51 million, I believe, in that final year if he decides to decline it, which means as a 32-year-old, whatever team he's playing for at that time, he would negotiate a longer contract for more money overall. Nick would be the most likely option, unless he picks it up at 50 some odd million dollars. So the question is, Nick, again, we're getting a player that has repeatedly not excelled in the playoffs when it matters most. And I've been texting back and forth with my brother-in-law, who is ecstatic about the deal, and I remind him he was so ecstatic when SGA roasted him for 35 points in Game 4, which is the last thing you saw. Because remember, I go off by the last thing I see quite a bit, and the last thing I saw, Nick, from Austin Reaves, I didn't think was worth 4 years, $185 million.
Definitely not, Gerald. Half that is probably the right amount. Aside from, aside whether Reeves deserves the money or not, it's also a question of need, right? Do we also need another guard, a ball handling dominant guard who still has a questionable shot, but certainly questionable defense and defensive effort in the backcourt? The answer is no. So even assuming that Austin Reaves deserved or merited this amount of money, just from a player personnel standpoint, we don't need a player like that or of that profile. And so my question is more broadly or more deeply to what is the idea behind the roster construction, right? What do we do with getting a center that has been an issue for the past several years, Gerald? The infamous 3-and-D wings that we need. And also what's going to happen with LeBron. Obviously, everything is pointing towards LeBron returning for next year. And it seems like every year for the past 3 or 4 years, we keep saying it's going to be LeBron's last year, and he keeps coming back. And so it seems like we're in a state of limbo, a stagnation for this team. And it is disappointing. And as you mentioned at the top of the conversation, Gerald, it's certainly not surprising, but it is disappointing.
It is indeed. And great question by JY. Why didn't the Lakers wait and see who they were bidding against, Joe? And so I'll ask you that. I'm assuming if Shams knew that Detroit through feelers were already going to go ahead and offer him that amount of money and create space for it, my guess is that the Lakers just wanted to. The Lakers already knew that as well about what Detroit was going to offer. And it's just a shame, though, because obviously they want to retain him. They wanted to keep him, but to not even bring up the prospects of bringing something back in a sign and trade, Joe, if they knew Detroit was going to, or at least Detroit, Brooklyn, Chicago, or any other team was going to go ahead and pay much. Why didn't they do their due diligence and just go ahead and, like you talked about, go ahead, get the offers, and come back? It sounds like they already knew through feelers that Austin was going to get heavily paid as a free agent.
Who's going to pay him restricted money, or I'm sorry, max money? That's not anything we need to go check on anybody. It doesn't matter if it's Detroit, Washington, it doesn't matter. The max is 4 years, $175 million. So the Lakers said, all right, we'll give you more money to stay here. Same years, essentially. But we'll top it off with another $10 million just for good graces. That's it. We don't need to know who the team was. Who gives a shit? And as far as Detroit is concerned, what trade? What you both going to make lateral moves? So you lose Austin Reaves, you lose a guy that in the regular season that can drop 20 points, and then you get what? Jalen Duren? Okay, so you solve your center problem, but now you're short on scorers at the perimeter.
Well, that's something I also wanted to ask you as well. The Lakers just drafted an athletic guard who could possibly stretch out the floor to three. He obviously needs a window and plenty of playing time to do that with. Could end up being a better defensive player for the Lakers than what Austin Reaves gives. Do you think his minutes are going to be stunted by the fact that Austin Reaves plays a majority of the minutes at his position at shooting guard, since they're both 6'6"?
I don't think Carr is ready to be Austin
Reaves
that
for sure.
No, I do know that for sure. He's got issues with ball handling. He's not. Team defense is not his specialty at the moment. You're talking about him struggling in those areas in college. God knows what's going to happen in the NBA. He's a 24 overall pick in the NBA draft. Even Jimmy Butler, who got picked 30, took a year or so to get things going. And to quote our good friend Stone Hansen again, rookie year for an NBA player is usually not good. And the pressure being in LA on top of that, and someone who can't really control the ball, yeah, it's a little bit harder for that player to acclimate. He's not going to acclimate like Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves does have a little bit of handles, and he can get to the basket. He can get to the paint and create contact and get and ones. I don't believe Carr is capable of doing that at the moment. I hope he can, but I don't think that's his game. His game is athleticism. His game happens to be someone who can shoot and can jump out the building, which is I'm banking on. Hopefully he stays healthy. See, that's the other thing with this thing is the thing that kills me about all this is, are any of these assholes going to stay healthy? Because Adu isn't healthy. Because I was hearing a lot about Thiero and how, oh man, him and Carr on, yeah, but is he going to play? If you're not healthy as a young man, how the hell are you going to play later? I don't know. These guys play half the damn season. They barely got Wemby to play 65 games. And I guarantee you, if that wasn't a rule to play 65 to qualify for awards, that motherfucker would have played 45 games. So I don't trust anything. I really don't. At this point, I'm just some schmuck on a podcast trying to assess something with very little information and trying to piece it together based off of legitimate information like the current CBA and a little bit of common sense and obviously knowledge of my team and knowledge of, again, the NBA system. That's it. Sitting here and whining about why they paid Austin the max is an absolute waste of time. Of course, he's not worth the max. 90% of the players in this league are not worth the money they're getting paid, but that's the system. And timing plays a part in that. And this was perfect timing for Austin Reaves to get the max, because I guarantee you if it was next year, it would have been harder. It would have been harder for him. So yeah,
Nick,
that's it.
Well, let me ask Nick this. And again, Nick, with the signing of Austin Reaves, and of course, the Lakers still have cap space. They still can conduct trades, Nick. With that, there's been talk about Lou Dort, among others, possibly being moved to Lakers. But if he plays the same position as Austin Reaves and Cameron Carr plays pretty much essentially the same position as Austin Reaves, how does this happen? How do you integrate all these options? You could continue to play a small ball. You can have like what they did with Marcus Smart. I guess you can go ahead and do that. But with that said, though, how much of an issue is it because of the signing of Austin Reaves and how much you're committed to him going forward?
Yeah, there's a bevy of guards, right, Gerald? And sorry to bring it up, Joe, but what does this mean for Bronny and Bronny's
And
playing?
Dalton Connect.
Yeah, and Dalton's Connect. I mean, they picked up his option, right, Gerald?
They picked up his option for next season, but for the next season after his final season as a rookie, they have until Halloween to pick that up.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, to state the obvious here is that there are certainly major deficiencies in the roster construction. I don't know where we get length, where we get defense, especially in the paint. We saw that DeAndre Ayton was completely lacking in that department, especially in the playoffs. And so, just as a Laker fan, we love to put the pressure on. We're used to winning. And the roster as constructed now, I just don't see a clear vision. In fact, Gerald, I see a less clear vision now than a year ago. Just given with the signing that just happened today, and again, it's surprising to me that Luka would, I guess, theoretically, like co-sign this contract for Austin Reaves, because it does set him back for a championship run. I'm hopeful that what Joe is saying is true, that this is a move for the longer play, the longer run. But it's hard to see the light right now, and hopefully by by the end of the summer, when the rosters are fully set, there's better clarity as far as how this roster is constructed and the prospects of being a winning team for next season.
Joe, again, I wanted to make sure everybody knows out there, the Lakers and Austin Reaves agreed to a 4-year maximum contract, detailing 4 years, $185 million. The fourth year is a player option for Austin. So We head now to the second round of the draft later tonight. The Lakers, as of this time, are not involved, but they could, try to find their way in. If that's the case, there's still some intriguing prospects. But with that said, the player evaluation and the talent acquisitions begin for Rob Pelinka and the front office. And do you think it's gotten off to a good start before we head on out?
I do like the car pick. It's something that they need, regardless if he ends up being good or not. There's no way of really assessing it until we see him play in the next few years. Dalton Connect was considered a steal at 17, and we all know what happened there. And if this doesn't work, then it starts to get a little bit suspect on the development side of things. We know that Rob likely destroyed the confidence of Connect by rejecting the deal, but which in the end was the right call, because we wouldn't have gotten Carr. Right now, we would have traded it for Mark Williams, which would have, in my view, would have been a disaster. But the fact that he went that route is the bad part with him. It's like trying to say, it's like getting mad at somebody for not predicting every draft pick from 1 to 30 in any draft. This is a very hard assessment to put a grade on it until we see what happens in the end. It's still at the beginning.
And Laker Nick, I'll leave the final thoughts with you, my friend. Again, we've heard it nauseum. Well, from those supporting the deal or those who would support such a large deal for Austin Reaves, the first year it's the cap hold. It's all about the cap hold. The cap hold of 21 and a half million dollars roughly, and everything over that it's just gravy because it won't count against the cap. The Lakers still have lots of flexibility. I say this, okay. They have lots of flexibility, but who is the guy using that cap flexibility? I have my concerns, and it sounds like you do as well, Laker Nick. I appreciate you jumping on, my friend, and I do want to hear your thoughts before we head on out.
Yeah, Gerald, I guess one question, and I know that you touched on this earlier in the podcast, and it's how much more runway does Rob Pelinka have, especially with the move like this? I understand that him acquiring Luka, whether that was because of Nico Harrison's doing or not, I mean, Rob still got that done, and we have to give him some modicum of credit for that. But you can only live on successes for so long, right? And so with this, I guess, signing of Austin Reaves, and as we have already said and reiterated, it's a bad decision for the club moving forward. It's a bad decision for roster construction, for the prospects of winning. I don't know how much more runway Rob has in this role. I understand that his office was now staffed up with additional support staff, but it just seems like he can't just be holding on to acquiring Luka and keeping his job. And, the Lakers are in this state of mediocrity now for what it seems like, since 2020.
I'll say this, Nick, because I know Joe is a big fan of what may happen with Nikola Jokic. And until he signs a new contract, he is targeting Nikola Jokic for a return, Nick. And I'll just leave it at this. Tim Connolly, the general manager, that's been very much, I guess, appreciated by a lot of different people out there for the way he built the teams that have contended in both Denver, that ultimately won a championship, and Minnesota, that went to the Western Conference Finals 2 straight times. He happens to be a free agent next year, Nick. So
It's not
could
a bad
that be
idea.
the time? Just saying. That's people talk about a timeline for how much, or you talk about how much rope does Rob Pelinka get. It may be a year. It may be just a year. So we'll see. We'll see how this works out indeed. But once again, Austin Reaves has been paid 4 years, $185 million. Looking forward to hearing and seeing your thoughts. Again, 50 plus wins 2 years in a row, Voltaire, but we're not worried about what the regular season brings. We're worried about what happens in the postseason, where the Lakers seem to hit just a certain level on that. So, again, I truly appreciate I truly appreciate Joe and Laker Nick for stopping on by. Hopefully, you guys out there appreciate us stopping by as well for this breaking news. Again, please make sure you like and subscribe to go ahead and check out what we do each and every time out. I'll be back after the second round with an NBA observations with, of course, looking like Caleb Ponce, maybe legend as well. We'll talk about the second round. And if there's anything that the Lakers are doing, we'll obviously report on that as well. Rough Artist says, you don't know Reeves won't get better in the playoffs. Well, he's had several chances, Rough. Joe, I'll let you go ahead and answer that last question before we head it on. I mean, okay. First time, second time, third time. We keep seeing year on year, year in, year out on same expectations for Austin and him not meeting them. So I don't know how many years, Rough, do you want to continue that? I mean, people continue to talk about James Harden for years about how he was in the playoffs, and we see what happens. Okay. Right.
Yeah, and before Joe answers, Gerald, I'll just say something that Joe mentioned in the conversation earlier, which is a big reason why we think Reeves won't improve in the playoffs is because he was at a golf course today.
Yep. And and Nick, as I promised all of our viewers, I sent the picture to Joe on Twitter. Indeed. Joe, again, answering the question, to Rough, you don't know Reeves won't get better in the playoffs. Do you know the Spurs won't improve in the postseason? I don't think you can correlate one to the other.
No, because the Spurs have young players and they will likely improve. And Wemby's only issue is health.
Austin is in his prime now.
Austin is never going to be good in the playoffs as long as he's still playing on a golf course half the year during the offseason. His body won't last either. Last time I checked, golf doesn't help your ability to shoot. You're not Michael Jordan either. Michael used to play a lot of golf too, but that's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did it all. If Austin Reaves is your second highest player going into the 2026-2027 season, you're not winning shit. And that is a pretty safe bet.
All right. So with that, the breaking news is that, again, Austin Reaves has signed a 4-year max contract, $185 million. We want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please go ahead and leave them there.
It's going to get worse if they sign LeBron, I'll tell you that.
Do you know he isn't shooting 1,000 shots in the morning or 1,000 at night, Joe, according to Ruff?
No, I don't know 100%, but I do know based off his playoff performances the last 3 years.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding, Ruff. Proof's in the pudding. I mean, we've seen it. You look at his numbers. Go to basketball.
Don't tell me you're pregnant. Show me the baby. That's a good comparison to that to that question. Let's say he is shooting 1,000 a day. Well, why aren't you getting better? Well, maybe he doesn't have to because he's getting a max deal anyways. And as far as leadership is concerned, we don't know the deal. We just don't know the deal that Mark Walter and Jeannie made, to where are they going to allow Rob to have a little bit of a leash? If that's the case, then I don't know how long that's going to be.
So with that said, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Don't forget, I also do Lakers Latest for the Fan Arc Network each and every morning on that channel. But I'll be back later tonight with a recap of the second round with Caleb Ponce, maybe Legend and more. So we'll go ahead and make sure we break it down for you. And if the Lakers do anything there, we'll let you know as well. And maybe even have some more thoughts on Austin Reaves as well. So want to thank Laker Nick again and Joe Sorrell for taking the time out of their day for this breaking news. Sorry to all the individuals out there, the Lakers fans who thought Austin wasn't going to get money and that you knew the future as far as exactly what he was going to get paid. Thank God you're not playing the lottery because you just lost. And I'll leave it at that. Once again, thank you, Laker Nick. Thank you, Joe. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your day to go ahead and catch this breaking news report from all of us right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast.
The hell is this? What are aliens coming in?
My breaking news video wasn't working. Yes. It's a radio signal. Turn on. There you go.
Who's Austin Reaves?